So now that your smartphone is linked to your Office database via the Snapshot app, let's make a mock call to a client. Select the Snapshot icon on your smartphone screen. It's the red one with the white S in the center. And then log in using your credentials. I'm going to use my Steve Milan credentials and log in. In the top drop-down client selector field, you can choose the client you want to work with from your client database that's in the Snapshot cloud. So I'm going to choose Joe Soap, and as I type his name, notice that the system finds the closest spelling of that client and puts it into the field for you. Just below the client selector are two radio buttons. The one is to call the client, and it is the default setting. The other is to call a service provider on behalf of a particular client. And if you select the service provider radio button like this and toggle between the two, you'll see that the bottom fields change between client and service provider. The next field, the broker number field, is for selecting a number from your brokerage staff member database. So if we select that, it brings in the staff numbers that you have on file. In my case, I've got Office Manager, Financial Planner, Office Reception, and Hunting Line. I'm going to choose Financial Planner, and it puts my cell number in there to be the caller. The radio button is set to call a client, so the bottom field will be set up and ready, and it'll contain the client and spouse list of telephone numbers. So let's have a look at that. And you see that you've got Joe Soap home, work, mobile, top 3, and then his wife, Mild Soap, work and mobile, bottom 2. Let's choose to phone Joe Soap on his home number. And so now we have it set up, and all we need to do is call. So let's call him. It's a Sunday morning, so I'm not going to be disturbing anybody. Within 5 to 10 seconds, my phone would start ringing. Answer.
Your call is important to us. Please hold.
Joe Soap's end answers. But let's look at a comparison. If we select the second radio button at the top, service provider has now been opened in the field below. To call the service provider, we just choose the service provider's number. I'm going to use AIMS. As I said, it's a Sunday morning, we won't be bothering anybody. And if I click on call, my phone will ring in 5 to 10 seconds. And then AIMS phone will ring.
Thank you for calling ABSA Investment Management Services.
So we won't let that call go through either. Now all these calls are voice logged and saved in the client that you're using at the top, Joe Soap in this case. All these voice logged calls will be saved in his voice log folder. Now there's one other thing, that sometimes there are times when you would want to call someone on behalf of the client who is not on your service provider list. So let's just choose client again. An example would be if the client asked you to call his doctor, for instance, who's not on your service provider list, and you don't want all your client's doctors on your service provider list. So you would then tick the singular tick box and complete the name and telephone number in the new fields that open. On singular, type in Dr. Feel good. We've got a little split there, and then we put in his telephone number and call him. And this will also be voice logged and saved in Joe Soap's folder in your database for your office staff to be able to work with and it would be easy to find because it would be captioned Dr. Feelgood and have his telephone number there. So that's how you use the smartphone app for Snapshot. And if you haven't yet done so, see the smartphone link to Office Database Video 1 on how to set the app up on your smartphone. Thank you.